10. A bunch of paintings. Look, I might get into trouble for this, either from you or from my own family, but hey, I'm just saying what the internet says. We're talking about aliens here, so let's dabble in some speculation, shall we? Art imitates life, or so the saying goes, which is why some believe, based on depictions of Christ, that he was visited by aliens, or even maybe was one, I don't know. There, I said it. The examples I'm going to talk about are the Baptism of Christ, painted in the 1700s, and the Madonna and Saint Giovannino. The Baptism of Christ by Ert de Gelder literally shows the image of a flying saucer sending beams or lasers of light shining down on baby Jesus. Doesn't look like a sun if you ask me. Then the painting of the Madonna I mentioned, painted by Domenico Ghirlandaio 200 years earlier, literally has a flying saucer in the background. There's even a shepherd taking a minute off in the corner just like, ooh, what's that? What is it supposed to mean? And why does this image keep turning up? Because it's gonna keep showing up in the other ones we mentioned, so let's keep going. Number 9. The Spaceship Panel in Seti. This is one of the weirdest series of hieroglyphic panels ever discovered. In the Temple of Seti in Abydos, Egypt, there is a panel that depicts images that look all too familiar. While some of them are a little more ambiguous, the image of a helicopter and what looked like cars the Jetsons would have driven really stand out. This caused a lot of pseudo-archaeologists to freak out because they finally had proof that the ancient Egyptians had encountered advanced technology. But more legit archaeologists continue to debunk this theory by saying that the drawings were actually a result of edited carvings. The translation even means, "He who protects Egypt and overthrows the foreign countries." I think the jury is still out on this one, to be honest. What do you guys think? Number 8. The Vatican's secret archives. Okay, I could have picked one or two, but all of it, just all of it, we just don't know what's in there. I'm putting the Vatican secret archives on this list because there is for sure evidence in that library that asks a lot of questions, or maybe even answers some. You can actually get access to them, it just takes, I don't know, the 12 trials of Hercules to get approved. Then you have to fly to Rome and go through each page by hand. There are thousands of historical documents with secrets the Vatican kept hidden from prying eyes. For example, in the 17th century, Pope Paul V ordered a select collection of documents to be sealed from the public until 1881. Researchers believe that there are documents so explosive that they threaten the doctrine of the Catholic Church. They may even contain information on messages that Giordano Bruno, we will get to him in a minute, received from extraterrestrials. The Vatican archives also contain secrets pertaining to the Fatima mystery, which brings us to the Fatima mystery. In 1917, 3 children apparently saw an apparition of the Virgin Mary in a field. Their vision prompted 70,000 people to visit the same sheep pasture and stated that they saw a spinning silver disc in the sky. The children apparently received a message from the specter that said, "We are here, we have been since thousands of years ago, and that they will return again." This entire story went to the Vatican, but apparently they censored the messages. The children received 3 messages, but the Pope refused to release the 3rd and final one, which apparently mentions the existence of extraterrestrial life. Why would they censor such a message? Can one believe in both the existence of a higher being and alien life? Apparently the Vatican doesn't think so, though we will never know until the day we finally get a hand on those documents. Giordano Bruno. Giordano Bruno was a bit of an enigma. His radical ideas and futuristic thinking have many people today wondering if he's actually a time traveler or an alien. We don't know. Bruno was born in 1548 and lived until the year 1600 and was considered one of the most adventurous thinkers of the Renaissance. I know that's not ancient, but it's old, okay? So there. I can't help but talk about it, so thank you for indulging me. Stemming from Copernicus's heliocentric theory, Bruno believed in the new philosophy. It disproved Aristotelian natural philosophy and supported the idea that the universe was infinite, animate, and had loads of solar systems like our own. What's even weirder is that Bruno even foretold theories like the many worlds hypothesis hundreds of years before quantum mechanics was even considered a thing. He even theorized about atoms and molecules. Needless to say, his radical ideas weren't welcomed by the church, especially since most of his theories were correct. Like they are, a lot of them are. No wonder people think he's a time traveler. How on earth did these ideas even get into his head? Number 5. Rock paintings in India. Archaeologists were stunned when they came across ancient rock carvings dating over 10,000 years old in a cave in Raipur. What made their jaws drop to the floor? The stark possibility that these drawings depict the visitation of ancient aliens and UFOs. NASA and the ISRO, aka the Indian Space Research Center, are trying to learn more about their origins, of course. Due diligence is key when it comes to claims like these. But upon first glance, these beings look as though they are humanoid creatures wearing spacesuits. Beliefs in the surrounding village vary, but many people believe that they are a depiction of the Rohilla people. The Rohilla people, or the small-sized ones, were people who allegedly used to land from the sky in round-shaped flying objects and steal 2 people from the village, and they'd never return. Number 4. The Antecapera Mechanism. The Antecapera Mechanism is one of the most mysterious ancient discoveries of all time. Found 150 feet below the surface of the Aegean Sea, divers discovered a shipwreck. During the excavation, scientists discovered one of the oldest recorded computers, dating back to 7th century BC. It was determined to be a kind of analog computer used to predict astronomical events. According to author David Childress, for scientists, this finding was equivalent to finding a jet plane in King Tut's tomb. It changed how they perceived ancient history. Due to its stark complexity, alien enthusiasts believe that this technology must have been passed down from superior beings. So, aliens. The device was replicated in order to unravel the mystery, and even more shockingly, the device could calculate the position and running time of each planet. How could a pre-epoch civilization be able to create such a device without the use of sophisticated astronomical tools? You're thinking it, I'm just saying it. Aliens. Ba-bam. Before we uncover our top 3, remember, if you like this video, do us a favor, smash that like button, punch it, poke it, boop it, whatever you want to do, and subscribe to stay up to date. It really helps us out and we love you for it. Now for our top 3. The moving statues of Rhodes. So this actually relates to the one I just talked about. So this is cool, I'm getting 2 points in one. This relates actually to the Antecapera Mechanism, as researchers believe that the ship it was found on originates from Rhodes. Move over, Atlantis! According to some, the island of Rhodes contains some of the most advanced technology of the time. Apparently the statues would suddenly just come to life, which implies that they developed some kind of machinery over 2,000 years ago, around 1,500 years too soon for any kind of robotics. Legend says that the people earned the technology from the gods, though what they could have considered gods may have been something extraterrestrial in nature. Number 2. An iron dagger. When archaeologists began excavating King Tut's tomb, it was not surprising to find many elaborate and delicate objects, but one artifact stands out from the rest: an iron dagger, delicately laid in gold with a beautiful golden sheath. Iron is a very commonplace material today. In fact, not a day goes by where we don't come in contact with it at some point. But at the time this dagger was made, the ancient Egyptians were 200 years away from the Iron Age. Iron was incredibly rare. Then they discovered ancient hieroglyphs alluding to the dagger being given to them from the heavens. Now you see where I'm going with this. The composition of the dagger was tested and they found iron, but also included nickel and cobalt, in exactly the combination that is found in meteorites. The riddle now makes sense, as the iron came from space, but where did it land? Archaeologists continue to theorize its location, though the jury is still out. So how else could they have gotten it? And last but not least, geoglyphs. Geoglyphs are massive versions of petroglyphs, which are small drawings carved into the earth and rock. They appear all over the world in every culture. The most famous example of geoglyphs are the Nazca Lines in Peru, which we've talked about on this channel before. If you find the video, post it down below to help each other out. The Nazca Lines are the most popular due to the sheer size of them and variety, and many believe they hint at alien life. One of them is literally called the astronaut because that's exactly what it looks like. But to give you some more examples, there is the massive Uffington white horse found in Britain dating back to 11,000 BC, the works of the old men discovered in Jordan in the 1900s. I could go on, they're everywhere. Maybe we should do a video. Let me know if you want to. In most cases, the lines are so precise and clear that many wonder how these ancient civilizations constructed these designs when we only discovered their existence when we learned how to fly, or fly in airplanes, that is. One answer seems to make the most sense. They needed somebody above being like, move there, carve there, that one needs a little more. Aliens. Duh. The biggest question I have stemming from this list revolves around the images that keep turning up all throughout history. Why flying saucers? Where did that image come from if not from spaceships in the sky? Why when we see pre-epoch drawings on caves or devices beyond our understanding, does something inside us suspect it came from somewhere else?
Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have big circles. These large ancient stone spheres were found by archaeologists in Jordan, and they have been the cause of confusion for many ever since. These stones were dated back to around 2,000 years ago, and so far about 11 or 12 of them have been found. These stone structures are nearly circular, and they range in size from 720 feet to 1,200 feet in diameter. There aren't any purposefully placed holes in the stones, so it isn't believed that they were used for either humans or animals to walk through. So what are they? Well, no one is exactly sure, to be honest. Researchers are trying to compare these structures to other similar ones in an attempt to find an answer to that question, but so far, only mysteries remain. In our number 9 spot today, we have Pumapanku. This site is located in Bolivia, and it boasts a series of stone structures. One of the most notable and remarkable things about this site is how precisely the stones here were cut. It is believed that this site dates back to somewhere around 536 AD, and while it now lay in ruins, it is thought to have once been an incredibly wondrous place filled with things like polished metal plaques, bright ceramics, and different fabrics. It isn't quite known exactly what this site was used for entirely, partly because of its age, but also because of the lack of written record and the deterioration that can be seen on the site. Because of the impressive size of the site, as well as the technology that was used to build it, this is a place that many people often say was built by aliens, but it was actually the Incas. They were incredibly talented craftsmen, and just because we couldn't pull it off today doesn't mean that we should take their credit away. In our number 8 spot today, we have Stonehenge. This prehistoric monument is located in England, and it is a set of stones that are oriented towards the sunrise on the summer solstice. This stone monument is thought to have been created somewhere from 3000 to 2000 BC, and it truly is one of the most famous landmarks ever. Stonehenge is thought to have been an ancient burial ground right from early in its creation for somewhere around 500 years. There are many theories surrounding this incredible monument regarding who could have created it, as experts just aren't quite sure. Since this was from a time before we had written records, we may never know for sure. Maybe this one is just destined to stay a mystery. In our number 7 spot today, we have the face on Mars. In 1976, as the NASA Viking orbiter was flying through space-time, it spotted what really appeared as a face on the surface of Mars. This face is nearly 2 miles long, and it is located within the smooth plains of northern Mars. This was striking because, like I mentioned, northern Mars is more smooth plains, while the southern area is where the cratered land can be found, but also because it's a huge face that looks like it's coming out of the planet. Well, it has been said that this face on Mars is actually just some sort of tabletop mountain. I prefer to take some liberties with that story. I'm just saying, out of everything on this list today, this one has got to be alien made. In our number 6 spot today, we have Machu Picchu. This incredible and stunning site was built over 500 years ago, and it was once known as the lost city of the Inca. Our modern discovery of this site came in 1911 when the archaeologist Hiram Bingham and his team stumbled upon it almost accidentally while looking for another ancient city. Of course, this site was not built by aliens and instead was built by the incredible Incas. People often refer to this as a place that may have been built by aliens because of the fact that the Incas were so ahead of their time in their ability to create absolutely amazing things, and because of the fact that all these years later, Machu Picchu is still standing. The stones used to create this site weighed over 50 tons, and it certainly doesn't have a location that would have been convenient to its construction. Through earthquakes and all of the terrible weather that Earth has seen in the last 500 years, Machu Picchu remains, and that is a testament to how brilliant their work really was. Another reason many people talk about this site being built by aliens is because of the elongated skulls that were found nearby, but guess what? This was actually a sign of royalty for the Incas, so maybe we should think twice about what we say when in the presence of royalty. And we should definitely be giving credit to them and all of the people who once took part in building this place, because we certainly couldn't do it today, what they did in the 15th century. In our number 5 spot today, we have the works of old men. The works of old men are structures that were first observed from the air by a British pilot in 1927, and they are located near the Azraq Oasis in Jordan. There are hundreds of these wheel-like structures structures that are each over 80 feet wide, some even as large as 200 feet. These huge structures have been dated back so far that they just might be the oldest man-made creations that we have ever found. While this is all amazing, we have absolutely no idea what they are or why they were created. The theories range from things like sun tracking to ceremonies to some sort of spiritual relevance, but we just aren't really sure. While things like this are incredible finds, and it's amazing that some of the first man-made things still exist on our Earth, it's insane that we have no idea what they are or how to use them, and unfortunately, because of the fact that it's been thousands and thousands of years, it's most likely that the mysteries surrounding them are totally lost with the past. In our number 4 spot today, we have Sacsayhuaman. This site is located in Cuzco, Peru, and it is another fascinating and seemingly impossible stone structure that was built by the Incas. This structure was once believed to have been a fortress, but now it is believed it may have actually been used for things like ceremonies. Why this is another incredible creation is because of the fact that we can't quite figure out how it could have been built. The stones in the structure fit together so perfectly that they're able to stay together without anything holding them in place, and they've done so for years and years. This, coupled with how large some of the stones were, is enough to completely stump experts. Despite how well the stones all fit together, apparently they all have different shapes, which has led researchers to believe that the building design was kind of made up as the structure was being built. Imagine that. Improving building a structure and it lasts for hundreds and hundreds of years and goes on to stump humanity for a while. I'm just saying. It's pretty cool. It becomes more and more apparent how talented and brilliant the Incas really were. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Nazca Lines. If you were to head to the Nazca Desert, just about 200 miles southeast of Lima in southern Peru, you'd find the most famous geoglyphs in the world. The Nazca Lines. Researchers believe that these lines might be something like 2 millennia old, and other than how they are incredible works of art, these often get referred to as a possible site of alien visitation because it just seems like making these should have been impossible 2,000 years ago. The geoglyphs are more than 800-foot long white lines etched into the desert, as well as 300 geometric shapes and 70 different animal figures. The biggest shape stretches around 1,200 feet across, which leads to my point about why these lines are so incredibly fascinating. These images can only be fully seen from high above in the air, so thinking back 2,000 years ago, how did humans make these without the vantage points we have now? I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely is nothing shy of amazing. In our number 2 spot today, we have the Yonaguni Monument. Just off of the coast of Yonaguni in Japan, there is a diving location that was first discovered in 1986 by a diver. He noticed some strange sort of formation that was located on the seabed that looked as if it could be some sort of structure, so he swam down to go investigate. When he went down and didn't find any more answers to his question, he of course had to spill the tea on what he had stumbled upon. When researchers heard about this, they ended up diving down to check out what this formation could be, and thus the Yonaguni Monument was considered officially discovered. This monument, which kind of resembles stairs made for giants, is made of sandstone and limestone, but there's one super mysterious thing about it. Experts cannot agree on the origins of this thing. Some people believe it was a naturally occurring formation, while others swear it was man, or perhaps alien made. The Yonaguni Monument is at least 10,000 years old, so at the end of the day, anyone's guess is as good as mine. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments how you think the Yonaguni Monument came to be. In our number 1 spot today, we have Gobekli Tepe. This is a pre-pottery Neolithic archaeological site that is located in Turkey. This site has been dated back all the way to somewhere from 9,500 to 8,000 BC, making it the world's oldest known megalith, which is truly just incredible. This site is comprised of a bunch of large circular structures that are being supported by massive stone pillars, many of which are decorated with abstract anthropomorphic details and things which has provided rare and valuable insight into prehistoric religion and the iconography of the times when this was built. One of the most amazing things about this area is that it was first used at the beginning of the Neolithic period, which marks the oldest human settlements anywhere in the world. It has been called the world's first temple, and it was used by groups of nomadic hunter-gatherers from a wide area. Without a doubt, this was one of the best archaeological archaeological finds our modern society has ever had, as it gives us just a glimpse into what life was like in prehistoric times.
Starting off at number 10, we have the theory that octopuses are aliens. Okay, I know that sounds hilarious, but okay, just hear this theory out. So, ancient astronaut theorists believe that octopuses are some sort of version of an alien. So we all know that back in the day, tons of meteors crashed down on Earth. Well, they believe that the meteorites that crashed into the ocean from space actually contained some sort of organic material. Now, this either infected some sort of water species or allowed the material in the meteor to evolve into an octopus. So really, octopuses could be composed of alien DNA. Now, to support this theory, they mention that octopuses are actually quite gifted. In fact, they are known to play pranks on their human viewers. They also have different genomes than squids, which are said to be closely related to them. And they can change color. They're just a really weird species. So, what do you think? Could octopuses be a form of aliens? Moving on, at number 9, we have the theory that ancient Egyptians were in contact with aliens. That's right. So there are two main points to this theory. One is that the pharaoh Akhenaten was actually an alien himself. So ancient Egypt was known to be polytheistic, meaning they believed in multiple gods. Then Akhenaten comes around and he declares that they worship only one god, the sun god. Now, why would Akhenaten out of nowhere just declare this? Well, the answer may be in the carving of the sun god Aten. So Aten is depicted as a disc in the sky. What else do we know that is a disc that flies through the sky? UFOs and their spacecrafts. So they are convinced that he was in fact in contact with aliens who gave him the message that said that they should only be worshipping them. They also believe that Akhenaten may have been an extraterrestrial. So in all of his depictions, he is seen with an elongated face and head, a long neck, small ribs, and a protruding belly, while all the other pharaohs looked majestic and muscular. What is also weird about this is that he claimed that all of his carvings had to be accurate and representative of him. So that means that he truly looked like that. Meaning he looks an awful lot like an alien. Coincidence? I think not. In our 8th spot, we have Osiris the Robot. Okay, again, this theory is a little more on the sillier side, but they do back it up with some solid evidence. So Osiris, for those of you who don't know, was an ancient Egyptian god. He was actually killed by his jealous brother Seth, who tore his body into 14 pieces. Now, Osiris's wife ended up collecting all of those 14 body parts, and she put them back together and resurrected him. Then after he was resurrected, he was depicted looking kind of like a pillar, which they claim looks like a modern day Tesla coil. So Osiris looks like a machine and got perfectly pieced back together. This has led them to believe that he is indeed, sounds weird to say, but a robot. Sorry guys, I don't agree with you on that one, but if it's true, then that's terrifying. Coming in at number 7, we have the geoglyphs. So geoglyphs are large drawings or symbols that people create on the ground and can only be seen fully from up above. Now, ancient astronaut theorists tried to figure out why citizens would do this. I mean, they aren't easy to create, they are quite time consuming. So why would people spend hours making these with no incentive? Well, they theorize that they are using these to get in contact with extraterrestrials. When analyzing these geoglyphs, they found repeated symbols used worldwide. They use a lot of symbols like spirals or even a star-sun cross geoglyph. That particular geoglyph is seen in mandalas in Tibet and India. This glyph is also so complicated, yet other people are making it seem like a universal language that was once used to contact aliens. Moving on at number 6, we have the Van Allen radiation belt. So the Van Allen belt surrounds Earth and basically acts as a protective force to block out any radiation from coming into Earth from charged space particles. Without this belt, then any space item that enters Earth could expose us to deadly radiation. So these theorists believe that the Van Allen belt was made by aliens to protect them from other aliens during an extraterrestrial war. They even say that the belt can change and mutate, almost as if it's being directed by a creature of higher intelligence. So this belt does not only protect us from radiation, but also against attacks from hostile aliens. Throughout time, there has been reported UFO crashes onto Earth. But how could aliens be that high tech and not be able to control their spacecraft? Well, that's because the belt was specifically designed to keep them out. So basically, Earth is at the center of an extraterrestrial conflict, and some of the aliens are protecting us. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the resurrected mummies. Mummies can be resurrected. You heard me correctly. Bodies of deceased Egyptian pharaohs and other individuals can potentially be resurrected. Okay, I can tell you several reasons why this would be a bad idea. Like, don't they watch the movies? So the way that Egyptians have embalmed bodies has preserved them and allowed them to survive for thousands of years. These theorists believe that if they find a complete set of blueprints for an ancient Egyptian body, then they could potentially regenerate their DNA. They also believe that the ancient Egyptians were aware of this. The extraterrestrials told them of this process, and that's why they had these specific preservation techniques. They believe once they figure out how to resurrect individuals, then they will be able to move between the living world and the world of the afterlife, where they will be able to encounter aliens. So basically, once we harness this capability, it will unlock all the answers we need surrounding aliens. In our 4th spot, we have humans are the aliens' test subjects. So this theory began when ancient astronaut theorists realized that most of the alien abduction stories were identical. In fact, more than 60% of the abductees had the same rare blood type, Rh negative. They believed that this played a factor in their abduction. So if you had this blood type, good luck, you may be abducted by aliens. So they believe that for years ETs have been meddling with human DNA. In fact, they point out how we evolved from Homo sapiens to Homo sapiens sapiens in a short time frame. They also think that ETs had something to do with this, and now ETs are still trying to mess with our DNA when abducting people. They are trying to take us to a more extreme form. No thanks, and now I need to figure out what kind of blood type I am. For number 3, we have Earth is a big test lab. Yes, theorists believe that Earth was just a big laboratory for the ETs to conduct experiments on. This includes forming hybrid creatures. Now, hybrid creatures are seen all throughout mythology. In ancient Greek mythology, you have Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, or the centaur, half horse, half man. In Hindu mythology, you have Naga, half cobra and half human. There are many more examples of mentioned hybrid creatures. So you can either believe that these are just stories, or maybe our ancestors actually saw these creatures. But then they also theorize that the ETs were responsible for the Great Flood. They wanted to wipe out these hybrid animals and start again. Now, aliens are still conducting experiments today, but this time focusing mainly on humans. In our 2nd spot, we have the ET's DNA. So this theory surrounds the idea that humans contain a shared gene with aliens. They go on to prove this by highlighting cases of people born with strange features, like how there are over 100 reported cases of people being born with tails, or people that have ichthyosis. They were born with dry, scaly skin, or even syndactyly and ectrodactyly, which is people born with fused fingers and claw-type hands. So they believe that humans once commingled with reptilian-type aliens. As a result, we carry their genetic makeup. These circumstances could be an instance where this shared gene has tried to resurface. In fact, our genes are made up of so much stuff that we still don't understand, so it may just be possible that we have the slightest bit of alien in us. And in our number 1 spot, we have John F. Kennedy. So this show theorizes that John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was assassinated because he was going to expose the truth about aliens. Okay, this hasn't been the first president who have claimed that the government has been hiding alien secrets. Just like how apparently Richard Nixon hid a time capsule in the White House that contains proof of extraterrestrials. So for this theory, someone found a half-burned document in a fireplace. It was supposed to be completely destroyed, but they pulled it out and saved it. Now, this document read, "You must know Lancer has made some inquiries about our activities which we cannot allow." Lancer was the president's Secret Service name. It basically said that if he kept doing what he was doing, then it should be wet. Wet was code for assassinated, because wet was often associated with blood. But that's not all. So there was a man named E. Howard Hunt who was an officer of the CIA when Kennedy was president. One of Hunt's close friends ended up asking him why he thought Kennedy was assassinated. He said, "Because he was about to give our most vital secret to the Soviet Union." When he pried further, Hunt said, "Alien presence." So there you have it, folks. The government knows about extraterrestrials and is going to extreme lengths to keep it from the public. They even went as far as to kill their own president. Starting off this countdown, we have Mark Zuckerberg. Rumor has it that Mark Zuckerberg is an alien or a lizard person. Let me explain. In a number of interviews, people notice that Mark Zuckerberg barely blinks. It's true. I've seen videos and this dude must have like some watery eyes or something, cause he blinked like once every minute. He just sat there with his eyes wide open, looking like an alien. Then people went on to say that he wears contact lenses to hide his yellow lizard pupils. Maybe that's why he's so smart, because he's an alien. Either that or he's a robot or something. His weird mannerisms has everyone spooked. Conspiracy theorists are adamant that he's going to take over the world and destroy democracy. It's crazy. Coming in at number 9, we have Jeffrey Bezos. I'm sensing a theme here, okay? People like to think that rich, powerful men are aliens. Jeffrey Bezos, CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964, is another individual that might be an alien. Also, that was a reference to Bo Burnham. I love him. His song, Jeffrey Bezos, go check it out. Not only is he very intelligent, but people have been studying his mannerisms and think there's something wrong with him. Take a look at this.
But that was actually not supposed to be a bad pun. And then disclosure, you are...
Is it just me, or is his laugh undeniably creepy? He keeps his eyes wide open and locked on his target while laughing. Also, it seems forced. Maybe aliens don't have any emotions, so he has to force himself to laugh at jokes so he seems normal. I don't even know what to think anymore. Also, side note, someone deepfaked Jeffrey into a Star Trek episode, and let's just say I'm now scarred for life.
Is this a deception? Do you intend to destroy yourselves?
Moving on to number 8, we have Alien Barbie. Ukrainian woman Valeria Lukyanova is known as the human Barbie doll. She's got an impossible tiny waist, wide doll-like eyes, and a big bust. In fact, to achieve this look, she had some of her ribs removed. But not only is she a real-life Barbie doll, but she also claims that she's a time-traveling alien. Yes, you heard me correctly. This woman claims that she's not human. She said that she's an alien that has come to Earth to save the world. Little late for that. But what is she saving us from, you ask? Well, she says negative energy. Okay. And she has a goal to transform humans into demigods. I mean, that's cool. I want to be a demigod, so sign me up for that. She also has claimed to be a breatharian. She says that she lives off of nothing but light and air. So maybe she really is an alien, because it's physically impossible to live off of just light and air. Like, you need food and water. Coming in at number 7, we have Grimes. Grimes might just be an alien, and so might be her partner, Elon Musk, but more on him later. But how cute! 2 aliens came from space and connected on Earth. That's what I call destiny and true love. Anyways, if you follow her, then you know she's quite the character. And just recently, she got alien scars on her back. Or at least that's what she calls them. They're just a bunch of light-colored lines that she got tattooed on her back. But maybe aliens actually have tattoos or designs like that on their backs, and she knows something that we don't know. I mean, there's a huge conspiracy out there that Grimes is an alien. Just search on Reddit and you'll find a number of people who believe this theory. Moving on, at number 6 we have Poppy.
Hi, it's me, Poppy. Hi, I'm Poppy.
Poppy is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and YouTuber. She is known for her very unusual videos where she talks in a very soft and high-pitched voice. Is this just her persona or stage act, or is she an alien? Now, there's so many different theories surrounding her. From being part of the Illuminati, to being created by the government, to being a hologram, to even being a robot. I'm telling you, there's tons of theories out there. But a more popular one is that she's an alien from space. Most of this is based off of her mannerisms in her videos and the fact that we hardly know anything about her true self. One video that really started this theory was one where she reacts to a Fine Bros video. In this video, she cited every single word that was shown from her older videos. And she did this without showing any emotions, and without even acknowledging the kids that were reacting to her. It's very weird to say the least.
Hi, I'm Poppy.
You're freaking me out.
I wanted to see you.
What the heck?
Thanks for coming down here with me.
We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Steve Buscemi. And I just want to start off by saying that he's an amazing actor. Like, totally underrated, and I'm so happy talking about him because, also fun fact, we share the same birthday, so I just feel this connection to him. So Steve, if you're watching this, I want to be your friend. Anyways, people often judge Steve based off of his looks. I mean, I think he was on the list of like ugliest people in Hollywood or something like that, which like, that is mean. How did they get away with that? That's super hurtful. Lists like that just shouldn't exist, okay? But anyways, due to his unique appearance, people think that Steve is out of this world. They think that he's an alien or a cryptoid or something like that. There's even a bunch of memes out there making fun of Steve saying that he's an alien. I personally don't think he's one. Like, if we're judging based off looks, that's just mean. He's a great guy. But I still put him on this list for all you people out there that think that he could be one. Watch him actually be an alien. I'm like defending him. In our 4th spot, we have Tilda Swinton, who, might I add, is another incredible actor. Tilda's range is unbelievable. She is unrecognizable in some roles. Like, she goes from playing the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia, to the Ancient One in Doctor Strange, to Thora Thacker in Hail Caesar. She's just so versatile. And that's why some people think that she's an alien, because the ease in which she can transform her appearance and look like a completely different person. Or the ease in which she can change her personality and behave like a completely different person. I mean, I just call that good acting, but then other people are like, aliens! Also, people think that she's an alien because she has a unique appearance. Again, let's not judge a book by its cover here. It seems like the people trying to behave normally are the ones we should be concerned about, okay? In our 3rd spot, we have Bill Gates. I wish I had the amount of wealth that Bill Gates had, and now he's single, so Bill, hit me up. Just kidding. You're too old for me. Anyways, according to some people, Bill is an alien. How come aliens always have to be the richest people? Like, seriously, you got Mark, you got Jeffrey Bezos, and now Bill. How come all the alien dudes are rich? Anyways, the main reason why people think that he's an alien is due to his advanced knowledge on computers and technology. So aliens are supposed to be highly advanced creatures. They created highly advanced spacecrafts to travel throughout space and to Earth. Maybe Bill was sent from space to help advance human life. And then he liked it so much here that he decided to stick around. Or maybe he got too famous and was like, oh crap, I can't just disappear from the public eye. They're gonna wonder where I went. And now he's kind of stuck on Earth against his will. Moving on to number 2, we have Stephen Colbert. Honestly, he's the last person I would think to be an alien. But that's a good thing, right? It means that he's being stealthy about it. It's always the people you least expect. So a woman named Liz Brown came up with proof as to why she believes Stephen is an alien. Her first point is his intelligence. She said, and I quote, "A recent report showed that viewers of the Colbert Report are more well informed about political and social issues than viewers of legitimate news programs on ABC or CNN. Most alien experts agree that our interplanetary friends have a level of intelligence far beyond human capabilities. Of course, this could also mean that regular Colbert Report viewers are being groomed for abduction." End of quote. Imagine that, Stephen using his show to gain fans and then abduct them and use them in tests run by aliens. The next point she made is his immunity from diseases. She said that she has never seen him get sick. She said, and I quote, "What kind of regular human beings can consume Bud Light Lime on a regular basis on air and still not get sick?" End quote. She's kind of got a point there. She then also went on to talk about Stephen's love for space. In 2009, he made a public campaign telling his viewers to vote for the new treadmill on the International Space Station to be named after him. Why did he want this so badly? Well, it could be that this was a way to send a message to his alien friends out there, telling them like, we did it, I'm in control of the humans, this is proof. Crazy, isn't it? Makes you really think. And in our number 1 spot today we have Elon Musk. Why does Elon Musk want to go to Mars so bad? Honestly, he just wants to return to his home planet. He has announced a number of times that he wants to retire and die on Mars. He probably hates it here on Earth and is dying to get back. Let's look at more evidence. This dude invented the Tesla, like he's super intelligent. First off, he got into the electrical vehicle business, which only represents 0.1% of all cars sold. Looking at that, it would seem like a bad thing to get into. But nonetheless, he did, and he succeeded. Why? Because he's got alien capabilities to not only see into the future, but also create high-tech things, like Teslas. Someone else added that his end goal is to save Earth. He's seen into the future and how bad global warming gets. So he's trying to reduce global emissions through his cars. Maybe make them cheaper then. Not only that, but on a number of occasions he has tweeted out some suspicious things. Someone tweeted at him asking if he was an alien, and he said, obviously. So, he just admitted it, okay? I know he's just joking, but still. Another time he tweeted saying aliens built the pyramids. I mean, he was probably one of the aliens there building them alongside the Egyptians. In the end, everything he is doing on Earth is to save us, and then, help himself get back to his home planet.